welcome. We're going to do a little something different today. We're doing a combined podcast between SeizeYourBusiness.com and MakingRealEstateFun.com. A lot of you who have been listening to the Seize Your Business podcast know me. I'm Kevin O'Flaherty from O'Flaherty Law, but I'm joined by my new co-host in our new podcast, Making Real Estate Fun, Keith Hoffman from First Advantage Mortgage and Taji Clark from Coldwell Banker. And by the time this airs on Seize Your Business, we'll probably still be a couple weeks out from having our website up and running at Making Real Estate Fun, but we just wanted to send a tickler out. So if you're into real estate and into having a good time, check out the Making Real Estate Fun podcast in about a month or so. Our guest today is Scott Mathis from Mathis Contractors. Did I get the company name right? He's a good friend of all of ours. We're filming from The Organization, which is a social club in downtown Downers Grove, and Scott's the president of the organization, and today we're going to talk about his real estate investing, which Scott has a little bit of experience in. So thanks for being here, Scott.
Thank you, Kevin.
So tell us about the organization where we're filming here. What is it?
The organization is a place where you can get together with a bunch of guys and try and do more together.
Okay.
That's what we try to say. So if you have a business and other guys in there have a business, we try to help each other out. And our shortfallings and try to just make a better day of it, figuring out and muddling through what we're doing in life and trying to figure out better ways to do business together.
So Taji's also a member of the organization. It's if you can't really see it here, but it's divided into two rooms, a business center and a little bar in the back, and private membership club, right? So people join, they can host events here and just kind of collaborate with each other, right?
Right. That's a great way to put it, yeah.
It's been around for how long now?
2 years.
Okay.
2 years, yeah.
So tell us about your contracting business.
With the contracting, we can help you build whatever your dream is. Anything you want, kitchens, beds, or commercial spaces, or we just got done with an escape room with Brian. You know Brian, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, and we can put a plug for that. What's that? Clued In. He's opening up in, is that LaGrange?
I'm not sure where it's open. I think we did the
Look
lease.
later for that. Yeah, you did. Look later
we'll
for
get
the
back to you with
location,
details.
Exactly. But so we had a fun time with doing his build out, which was some secret compartments and bookcases and different stuff. So when he does his thing, not to give anything away, but Brian Summers is doing the escape room. So that was one of the fun things we did. But we can build anything you need.
You've done everything for me, from putting in wood floors to putting in French doors, breaking out a wall of mine, putting in French doors instead, clearing out my fireplace and stopping my house from smelling like smoke. So Scott's done a lot of good stuff for me. Done a lot of good stuff for my.
Did that work out?
It did, yeah.
It's better?
Yeah, until I left the flue closed, and now my whole house permanently smells like something. But I highly recommend his services. And now I'm going to kind of leave it to my co-host here to kind of do most of the questioning, because you guys know a little bit more about this end than I do. But one of the other things, Scott's a man of many talents. One of the other things he's been doing over the years is finding properties to invest in, yes, and hopefully rent out and make some money that way. So why don't you guys take it from here? All
right. So I don't want everybody to get bored about my advice in real estate. So I want to ask you from strictly an investor's standpoint, what are some things that you look for in a potential investment, and how do you go about finding them?
I suppose if you're looking for an investment, you're looking for ROI, which is return on investment. But you can look for it in a couple of ways. Some people sit and try and do a long-term investment, and they try to buy a property and hope that it goes up in value, and then sell it for a big ticket later and hopes that it'll float itself. And then some people buy investments and try to make it cash flow, which cash flow is king, and it always has been. So if you're doing cash flow, it's a completely different ticket than it is if you do hold on properties.
Sure.
So if you've got any specific questions, feel free to jump in. But I've got some properties that are a holding pattern that I've had for 15 years plus, that some are paid off, some are in various stages of nearly paid off, and at the end of the day, you hope to pay them off, and then you get the cash flow and the long-term return on that. And then some properties you buy and then hopes that they'll go up in value.
So I work with a lot of investors, and every investor is different as far as how they go about researching an investment, and how they go through their whole process. So and some of them are location. when you're investing, how important is it to you to have prime location or something of that nature?
I would say location is relevant. If you have a great location, but you can't make the cash flow because the prices are so high, or you can't even make the payment, then you're going to struggle financially. The biggest thing is to have a good realtor like Taji and a good finance guy like Keith. With a realtor, they can look at all the sales comps and everything, and you can balance out the difference in a high return at the end on a property and being able to cash flow it while you hold it, or at least hold even if you're looking for a return.
Sure.
So the one question I have, and I think, this is pretty important, is how do you finance all that?
That would be the number one question in the last. Taji and I were talking about this on the deck earlier. It's interesting in the last 15 years how, 15 years ago I bought property and they were looking for the deal. And they'd look at everything, they'd go, well, it's worth this. This is what you make in rent. And this is what the end product is. And then if you fast forward 7 years, which is roughly 7 years ago, if you had a credit score and you breathed and you were standing upright, they said, oh, well, how much do you want? And then now nobody wants to lend anything. So it's a struggle. I just closed on a property in Mississippi that I'm hoping to do as a flip and a short-term investment. And it's a fix and flip. And it's not the best location. It's not the premium location, but it's not a bad location. And so it's somewhere in between. So I should be able to make some money on it. But financing, I just had to write a check for it. And nobody wanted to. I think you do better with W-2 guys that are coming in. They're like, I'm going to live in this property. And
it's difficult. I mean, it really is difficult. I know that from our standpoint as a lender, we have to follow Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac guidelines.
Right.
So we still need the W-2s and pay stubs and so forth to make sure the ratios are okay. We can still do the investment properties.
Right.
But the question is, how difficult is that property? What shape is it in versus, how we can get it done. So I understand and probably private money sometimes.
And see, I've had a hard, and it's out there. It's like a unicorn. It's out there. You've heard of it. People say it exists, but I've never seen the one-horned horse because, so the private money is really difficult to get a grasp on. So,
what do you do, from kind of a business perspective? And I apologize if you're listening to this. You're hearing the door opening and close a lot. We're actually at the organization. There's entrepreneurs coming and going. It's a vibrant place, but I don't know. You didn't expect it to open and close this many times. I think there's a guy trolling us just open and close the door.
I think that last one was done out of spite.
So, from a business perspective, how do you go about kind of mapping out sort of a business plan for this? And here's how much I can charge in rent. Here's how much I'm going to have to put into it to fix it up. And, how much time do you end up putting into these business plans when they might not even go anywhere?
Well, I've spent years working on a spreadsheet that I put it in now. It's an Excel spreadsheet that, if you punch in all the parameters, it dumps out a yes or a no. It's like a green light or a red light. And I like to work on systems and stuff like that. This particular property that I just bought in Mississippi to use, it's not going to be a rental. It's going to be a flip. And so I looked at what's the least or what's the most I could pay for it and still turn profit, and how much profit do I want to do. And the numbers, I don't mind saying it, so I bought it for $20,000. The realtors and everything that I use, I've got great realtors there too. My mother-in-law is actually the realtor at Krylac and Tupelo. But the property, I bought it for $20,000. The end product will be for $90,000 to $110,000. So now what I've got to do is come up with a formula of how much do I want to spend on fixtures and furniture, because it has to fit within that $90,000 to $110,000. If I put gold faucets in a $100,000 house and I spent $120,000 on it, I'm still going to get $100,000 on it. So I try to make decisions based on the area, and there are some areas that if you put granite countertops, you'll get a return on that. But then there's some areas that if you put granite countertops, you'll never get it back.
How do you make that estimate of, if I do this work, here's what the property is going to be worth, or is it just your years of experience?
Go for it. I defer to the realtors, which do know in that area what everybody wants, and then you base the purchase price on what these guys say.
Yeah, so for something like that, you want to really look at, okay, so in this area, what's selling? What are the predominant features that you see in the, in most of the homes that are selling in that area, in the price range that you're hoping to be at, And so you kind of tailor your final product to what is, selling in the market, or what has sold in the market in the last 3 to 6 months.
Right.
So you want your finishes to make sense numbers-wise. Unless there's a huge spread, you want to make the fixtures make sense numbers-wise to be competitive with what else is selling in that area.
So let me ask you before Kevin wraps this up, where do you like to buy? Is it Illinois? Is it different states? What's your niche?
I buy anywhere that I can make money or hope to make money, because it's people look at real estate and they go, the people that are making money, it's all I got to do is invest and you'll make money. Well, that's not true, because you can lose just as much or more than you invest. But I like to find places that the return is at, I can double my money. If that makes sense. So this one, 20.
Everybody loves to double their money.
They do, and if you can double bigger money, it's even better. Sure. But if I could double it, I'm happy, and then I make a decision before that. But if you can, like this one for 20, I'll end up having 45 in it. Hoping to sell it for 90 to 110. But if I dump it for 80, then I've still nearly doubled my money. So that's okay. So I'm looking for the deal. I don't care if it's in Texas or Florida or Mississippi. It's
good.
People need to live. Real estate's the best income thing in the planet, because people have to live somewhere. If they have a business, they have to have it somewhere. Even with the internet, you have to have warehouses, you have to have stuff like that. So,
yeah.
One of my former mentors used to say, I'm going to say it, she used to say everybody needs a crib, but the way she would say it was, everybody need a crib. And so that's true.
You got to go somewhere to lay your head down at night.
Right. Everybody needs a place to live. So
Scott, on that note, if
I could never say it right.
If somebody needs your help either fixing up their crib, or they might be looking to flip a house, but they're not a contractor, need someone to kind of help them make the repairs, remediations, whatever needs to be done, how can they reach you?
Email is kssmathis@yahoo, or telephone number 662-312-0746. And I'm sure that'll be out on the end of the website.
And if they're a business owner, an entrepreneur in the Downers Grove area, they can contact you there to learn more about the organization if they want to be a member. Okay. Taji, how can people reach you?
You can reach me on my website, just tajiclark.com, T like Thomas, AJICLARK.com, or you can call me on my cell at 331-202-1604.
I like how you had to think about that.
I really want to put my number out there in Stratosphere.
Yes.
Well, you're looking for clients here. Come on. If someone, Keith, if someone needs a mortgage, how can they reach you?
They can get in touch with me at 630-306-LOAN. 630-306-5626, or keith.hoffman@1amllc.com.
And if someone wants to reach me, again, I'm Kevin O'Flaherty with O'Flaherty Law. We offer free consultations, 630-324-6666. Check out the SeizeYourBusiness.com podcast. If you're watching this on Making Real Estate Fun, check out MakingRealEstateFun.com. In about a month, if you're watching this on Seize Your Business. And I'm sure we'll be doing some more crossover podcasts in the future. So thanks so much for listening.